Salutations, I'm Steph77, and today we've got a new challenge build for you guys. Now, this video, you know what? I can't say inspired because it definitely wasn't inspired. It was directly caused by two streams that occurred the 30th of May 2025 on the channels Star Killer and Fierce Chimera. We have had some great atrocities occurred where we had a Maya and a Gauge that utilized the Actualizer SMG and came to the conclusion that it was a bad gun because of some very interesting skill issue. So let's break some of this down. I have a lot to say about the gun, a lot of good to say about the gun. This gun has performed really well for me, especially in comparison to all of the other things on my channel. It put itself on the market. I mean, if we go to my channel here, let's take a look. So we have the infection gauge, which is at 28 minutes. We have Retro Zero at 1440. We have Cobra at 1919. We have the Unforgiven at 2058. We have the Elephant Gun at 1509. Like we have a lot of items that have gone the 1440 and above. This is the first time we have an item that performs at a sub 14 minute time in Washburn Refinery. And if you pay attention to the way that I played the builds, I played pretty survivalist. I was very defensive. I got into a lot of tactical positions. I wasn't exactly jumping into the midst of danger, and I had a pretty survivalist skill tree and setup on. I didn't run a Moxie weapon. I had no need. There was no need for a Moxie weapon. This is the first weapon on the channel that didn't need a Moxie weapon. Like, that's crazy. I got enough damage when I was using the healing skills on Maya. I got enough damage to full heal every time I needed to. I dealt enough damage to never have to deal with an attack, really. For the most part, I when I was using crowd control, that was all that was preventing the extra enemies from dealing damage. But the primary target I was shooting at didn't really have any opportunities to do very much. It shredded their arms. If I shot at their legs, it shredded their legs. The dot was enough to keep the HP regen down so that I could take a moment to reload. And I didn't run the damage prefix. I ran the reload prefix. I originally was going to run the damage prefix too, because I saw Chimera ran it and I was like, well, that kind of makes sense. It has a really high base damage, and that base damage isn't caused by some sort of external modifier, so why not? The damage increase is really nice. However, I definitely ran into a reload problem with this gun, and it wasn't anything that could be solved by something like drop reloading or swapping. Melee canceling did help a little bit depending on what I was doing, but for the most part, the reload issue was when I was in Fight for My Life. If I was in Fight for My Life, I would need to reload because I didn't have as much damage, not having access to the fire rate skill. But outside of not having access to rec, we still were able to get up relatively all right. And then if I had the reload prefix, it made it pretty easy. But I didn't even really go down very often. This weapon was amazing. It performed really well. I tested with a whole bunch of class mods, and my two favorites were the Blurred Trickster and the Legendary Siren. Chimera was spot on with the class mod pick, in my opinion. I honestly prefer using this over the Catcom. Sure, the Catcom did more damage. Yeah, you got more damage, but you lost a lot of cooldown rate. You lost a little bit of you lost a couple of utility skill points. I mean, like, the big thing was cooldown. that was the major thing. Now, I definitely think that this performs a lot better with the bone than it does with its Allegiance Relic, especially with the accuracy subtraction on the relic, making it a little bit more difficult to use. But yeah, I just prefer the bone anyways. In either scenario, the cooldown on Maya is amazing. It is beautiful. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. No cloud kill on this build. There is no cloud kill used in the making of this video. And cloud kill was used in the live stream. If you are watching this video at this point and you haven't gone and watched the VOD, what are you doing? Go watch the VOD. But this weapon is really good. It's an amazing SMG, and this thing was definitely overhated and over joked upon in that live stream, all because of the massive skill issue. And this came from both parties. This wasn't just Fierce Chimera who was playing Maya. This also came from Starkiller, which I have another video prepped. I plan on it working. Well, I don't have the video prepped. I have the script prepped for it, and I need to set up the build and set up the run and try it out. Now, when I say script, and this is now me slowly running out of things to talk about at this point. When I say script, I am talking about a little document that I type up. That's all that's really on it whenever I'm typing a script is key points I want to talk about, and potentially specific details if I remember to research them before I start doing a voiceover. It's never like a hey, I want to make this sound as perfect as I possibly can. And I don't do that. Even with this freaking privacy policy video that I've been working on, I've redone the recording of that video, like the voiceover for that video, so many times because I didn't like the way something sounded. But I'm not gonna write it down in the script because then it makes it sound monotone and bland. If I actually figured out how to type out where I'm gonna cue inflections and put in dynamic changes or tempo changes in the way that I speak, then I would totally be down with writing a full proper script for it and then presenting it properly. But I don't have anything like that. I don't know how to set up all of those cues on a digital document like that. So I don't typically use stuff like Word or yeah, I don't use document style text editors. I am used to coding where I utilize Notepad++, and I decided in the glorious depths of the abyss to write my script for my privacy policy video in Notepad++, utilizing the C+ format. So that was probably the first mistake. But when it comes to writing stuff like scripts and whatnot, I get very particular because I had a semi-particular speech English teacher in school, and I very much loved and enjoyed that class. And that was one of my favorite classes in school. And a lot of the lessons kind of like stuck. It's one of the only classes that I'm just like, I can remember the specific lines that I stated when I presented my first presentation in that class. I can remember the first set of lines read on the book that was utilized to teach us for that class, despite it being such a long time ago. So, I get very particular with my speech stuff. When it comes to seeing it in written format, and then when watching other people present things, I tend to get very particular too. Now, videos, I don't really think about it when it comes to video making. I don't really think about it too much. I should think about it more, because that's like a whole bit, but I haven't really. I don't know. I guess it's more so just been, I've been indoctrinated into the culture for so long, watching stuff on YouTube. It's just like it doesn't really bother me when stuff is wrong anymore. But if I see anybody present in person, or like go to a seminar or a in-person speech or some sort of like just public speaker, I get particular and start notating what the heck they did wrong when it comes to their presentation etiquette, their presentation style, and stuff that I would change when it comes to their tempo, their dynamics, their inflection with the way that they speak. There's a lot of things that I get very particular with, and it is kind of weird. I do agree that it is weird, but it's just one of those things. And today I had a lot. Well, I say today, it's Saturday now, but today I had a lot to rant about. So it was gonna come out eventually that I was gonna rant about something when it comes to presentation. It was just going to happen. If I was wearing the catcom, I could probably get away with not even slagging enemies if I want to deal damage. I wouldn't even slag things. I would just have the catcom on and just slaughter. There'd be no reason to slag, no reason to focus down, utilizing something to buff the damage. The SMG with the catcom, the damage is out of this world. Now, some of the other class mods I really enjoyed playing with on this setup were the Legendary Binder. That's probably one of my favorites. The Blurred Trickster, the Legendary Siren, as we are currently using, and then I had a Wardicom on to double my shield capacity. That was so dumb. That was such a dumb run. But that's all I got time for this video. Stereologist77 signing off.